right. Well, thanks. It's so nice to see you here, Warren and Ed. Exciting. Yeah, it was. It was a crazy. Axel single-handedly saved the party. That's awesome.
Sort of.
Excuse me. Fireball.
Sort of.
Nice.
Well,
Okay. Yeah. Daxel single-handedly kept Damalgus and Valken alive. Dina was fine, thank you very much, with her 9 hit points.
Thank God, because if you didn't have your temporary hit points, we would have been so fucked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That potion of heroism. I still have that up too.
That's
so
right.
I still have that D14.
Nice. Well, to set the scene, for anyone that didn't catch last session, the party has been in the city of ZelKaari. They were sent there by the deity that's currently watching over them, protecting them from a really bad illithid that's out looking out for them, and can't, thanks to this deity. Needed help finding out who's been pillaging this deity's shrines. They found the person. And it all went to hell in a handbasket, really. Well, sort of, except it worked out for them. They found him, reported him to their go-between, this seemingly like an avatar of the deity. That's all they were going to need to do. He had an alchemical ingredient that is precious to this deity that he had stolen from one of the shrines. He was boarding a ship to leave, and gosh, I forget what even started it, but a battle ensued. They jumped out. They didn't want to let him leave, and they didn't realize how strong, I don't think anyway, they realized how strong this particular bad guy was. He's been the town hero, the city of Zangard for about 10 years, but he actually runs all the nasty, nefarious stuff that goes on in the city, on the darker side of his day-to-day. They defeated him. They held him at bay long enough for the Avatar to return, and they actually took a good, I think it's about a third of his life away, which is saying something, because it was a very powerful bad person. The deity came back and one-shotted the rest, or the Avatar came back one-shotted the rest. However, there's been a lot of commotion. Dina set the boat on fire to make sure he wasn't going to go anywhere during the battle, and so there's this gigantic boat ablaze in the city. They're on the docks at his boat, and this is the city's hero, the town hero. And so people have been rushing from the buildings and the docks. They've been slowly approaching. They managed, thankfully, to get things taken care of before all the villagers arrived. However, they're just there around the corner, en masse. And I think that's essentially where we ended the session. Valken was unconscious and drowning in the water, but pulled out by Thaxel, maybe? Or
Damalgus levitated, and I gave him hit points of some kind.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Dina grabbed the conch and the vial from around his neck.
Yes.
Okay, neat.
The magic conch.
And she's also going through his pockets.
Praise the magic conch.
Nice.
I think Kianava was running on the boat or something.
Yeah, she sensed the presence, she mentioned. Right. It's like, on the boat, a presence. And she hustled up, ran through the flames to go investigate that. So we'll pick up with while Valken was being levitated out of the water and resuscitated, while Dina was looting. Dina, go and roll an investigation check as you're sort of going through his belongings. You've already grabbed the Algorn's tears at an alchemical component, as well as the
investigation is 14.
Okay. Whoa! Sorry, I almost rolled off my desk. Okay, you find a couple of, a few different money pouches along his belt.
Okay.
With a 14, let me just compare that to one item here. Where are we? Jump in here. Oof. Yeah. That's all you find on his person anyway. Are you proficient with Arcana at all?
I believe so. Yes, I am.
Ooh, okay. Then with a 14, you'll also sense some magical energy coming off of his gloves. He's got these hard.
Peel those off.
Nice. Okay. They're really
peel those off. Tuck them into my waistband.
Beautiful. They're these thick leather gloves that have these little tiny plated diamonds on the knuckles. They look like they can deal some solid damage, and they're fairly protective. They also look really nice. They're cut really. They have a sort of an arrow point where they're cut along the edges, and they go about halfway up the arm.
Oh, okay. She's also going to de-pants him.
Nice.
Yeah,
okay.
and yeah, she's going to de-pants him and make sure everybody can see what a little tiny dick he has.
Nice.
I would expect nothing less.
Yeah, I'm like, let me roll for dick size. Okay. He's got a modest, but it is kind of chilly, I guess. So.
And he's dead, so it's like.
Yeah. It's in the moments before he died, he was definitely, not feeling it.
Yeah.
Yep. So you got him just sort of like on his stomach with his, butt up in the air and the twig and berries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and somehow she's writing Dickless across his ass or something,
Bob, BB, and anyway.
Okay, so while she's doing that, can I do one of those slap Falcon across the face, try to wake him up, ah!
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what I want to do.
Falcon, see, yeah, there you go. He spit out some seawater.
Don't die on me!
She's still slapping you a little bit, is she?
Well, I can't really afford to.
I got you.
What is this time? All right. Y'all back. Glad you made it here early, Randy. No.
Me too.
That's so exciting.
Hey, good news. You can be heard on the screen.
Good.
Oh, yay!
There we go. Thank you, chat, for your patience and for giving me the heads up. Oh, all right. I think we have all that stuff set in there. So, okay, other people dove off. Everyone's summoning things. Valken, you were on the pier. That's where we were.
Yeah.
Still coughing out some ocean water.
Yeah.
After I slapped you across the face.
Yeah.
Don't die on me!
Well,
Again.
During people, I'm probably worse for wear, so I'm probably in no condition to really just go fly for a long distance. I'll just call all my nightmares.
All we need to do is just get to a beach on the outside of town. That's it.
Still can't pronounce its name. I just know that the short form where it was fly.
Okay. You cough that out as you're trying to free your lungs and stomach. It's ocean water. You drank a few gallons of. And your horse is also summoned to Malachus. Yeah, you're of course here. You were doing all the pew-pews and stuff as well. Are you summoning your horse as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I will summon Quarthus and I guess I'm probably lightest. Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I will summon Quarthus, and once Quarthus shows up, I'll mount and turn to this new tiefling and say, "Hop on, let's go."
Sweet. All right. And so it lasts for an hour. And let's see here. Up to 10 willing creatures You can see within. So how many people is it? So it's
You'll just get
1, 2, 3, 4.
horses is all you'll need to do.
Yeah, just cast it on the
So
nightmare.
just the horses. Okay, so I just cast Water Walk on the horses. So what, like 3, 4 horses? That should be fine. And then all right. And then how do I mark it in?
So on your actions tab,
click the spell slot.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll get it again.
The
Thanks.
circles.
The stars.
On the actions tab near the top where it says spell slots, it'll have the little radial dials for each level spell. I think Water Walk is a
Third.
Okay.
Yeah. So just click it and it'll check it off for you.
Sweet.
There you go. You
There we go.
around
So we
and
can walk on water.
cast on the horses. They shimmy a little bit and they're not sure what's going on. And as you all set off to ride across the water, they're definitely reticent to just leap out onto the ocean waves. But with, you know what? Actually, roll an animal handling check. The 4 people that have their horses.
She gets kicked off the horse.
What's a 19 plus 6?
Oh, jeez.
25.
I'm not mathing today.
Okay, so that's a 9. Oh wait, no, that's a D12 that I just rolled. Never mind.
That would be pretty good.
That's a nat 20.
Nice.
So 19.
Nice.
19.
I got a 16.
Okay.
I got a 15.
Okay. Thaxel just charges ahead of everyone. And the horse just absolutely does what she's asked it to do and almost leaps off the end of the pier and just nervously for a moment, Thaxel and the horse land on top of the water and just continue running as the waves are going up and down and just little tiny splashes and spritzes of water kicked up from the horse's hooves. So Dina, right behind that, a little more comfortable your horse. Yeah.
Yeah, and she turns around and I cast Burning Hands and I'm creating where the largest group of the villagers are coming at us, setting all like any crates or boxes or barrels on fire and just a nice little blast of fire and off.
Nice. And everything's just lighting up with your double damage right now. And this entire section of the pier is just up in flames. Valken, you kind of, you're running through as well. Some of the smoke now getting in your eyes as you're following suit. And Demalgus with the new tiefling on the back of your horse as you're right off into the water, running out and around, sort of following the coastline down in one direction or the other, east or west, basically. How long do you've got an hour?
An hour. It lasts for an hour.
Okay. What do you guys want to do now that you're racing along the water? You've gotten at least out of sight of the city, and it's taken about a half, maybe 25 minutes to get out of sight of the city entirely.
I think I'm gonna yell back. Okay, since I'm in the front, I'm gonna yell back. Where are we going? Where do we need to head?
We need to, let's go east. Let's get as far as we can, and then
And we'll what? You broke
camp
up, sorry.
for the. Oh, sorry. Let's just go east as far as we can, and then we'll camp for the night.
Oh, okay, cool. And I tell my little horsey to keep going.
Except it's all splashy.
Splash, 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 splash.
The water hissing on the fire. Nightmares.
It really is.
Sexy, really, actually.
Smoke,
It looks
very cool.
steam
Someone
comes
make
up.
a video.
Yes. It's pretty
Cool fan art.
for real.
Steam flying about behind us.
The mist, spraying up in the eyes of those, consecutively riding behind each horse. It's a bit overcast, no rain or anything, but it's overcast, and I believe it's evening time. So as the hour nears complete, about 45, 50 minutes or so, you've gone pretty far. No one knows exactly, no one has watches, but it feels like it's closing in on an hour. You do find a location where you see a moderately dense forest. A beach maybe runs about as far down as you can see. The beach is only about 50, 60 feet deep. And then it looks like it heads up into some moderately dense forest. It might be a good place to hide.
That looks good. Yeah, let's head there.
Do y'all want me to? I can cast Pass Without a Trace if you want some extra coverage for an hour.
I can't imagine that we're being followed at this point.
Okay. To you.
Okay. You guys follow the waves up to the beach and transition from the ocean back to the dry land. Excuse me. Little rooster tails of sand kicking up behind the horse heels as you run across the beach up onto where it transitions from that soft, fine sand to dirt to grass to a bunch of foliage on the ground, foot or so of different, ferns and other plant life that's grown on the forest floor here. The forest is moderately dense. There's probably 15 to 20 feet or so between trees, but it provides quite a bit of cover. There's a heavy canopy up above. Mostly pine trees towards the edge, but as you travel into the woods a little bit further, it turns more into those deciduous trees that just have this huge veil that blots out most of the light. You do find not a cave per se, but amongst all this foliage, there is a massive rock that's probably 3/4 buried under the earth. But this one part, jagged and rough, juts out, sort of like Lion King, where, they... obviously not that big, but big enough to house a small party such as yourselves and set up this bit of a clearing in front of it where the plants don't get the sun that they need, so it's dead earth or just dirt. You can set up camp if you want.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and dismiss Eva. And then I'll set up, I'll use Create Bonfire, collect some wood real quick and use Create Bonfire to give us a bonfire going.
Okay.
While we set up camp.
Excellent. You collect a bunch of dead, dry wood that's been around on the forest floor for quite a while. And cast your spell. Large bonfire fires up, maybe 10 feet, 8, 10 feet tall. It's roasty toasty. What do you all want to do? It's late twilight hour, while this canopy of the forest already eliminates a lot of sun. You could definitely feel the darkness settling in of night.
I've dismissed my nightmare, but I don't want to take my eyes off of the newest member of our group because I'm not very trusting right now. So that's all. I'm just going to stare her down for a little bit.
Okay.
She's not even paying you any type of mind. She's not even looking, nothing. She's kind of pulling out her book and pulling out her satchel because she sees a few members that look a little rough for wear. So she's kind of looking around and looking through her books, and she looks at who's in the roughest right now, health wise.
Let's see.
Probably Valken and
Demalagus for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dina's at 9 HP as well.
Okay.
So
brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, don't
She's
worry
pretty
about
rough
me.
too.
It's the other three.
So then I'm seeing which would be the best.
Yeah, it's 7.
Let's see here. You know what? I'm just gonna do a mass healing word. Use another level 3 spell. So let's see here. So that's 1d4. Wait, no.
I think it's 1d4.
Plus your spell
1d4 for every slot
Yeah.
level above third. But wait, no, it's 1d4 then.
Plus
No.
your,
So if it's
okay.
sorry.
No, you're fine.
So any spell slot second level or higher, you get to increase the 1d4. So
Okay.
it'll be 2d4
So 2d4.
plus your wisdom modifier.
Which is 3.
Need to make sure.
So that's 3. Okay. Where's my?
If you
Is that the
click
triangle one?
Yep. Yeah, the
Okay,
pyramid.
that's what I thought.
Go ahead and roll a second one. You'll have 2 of those. So go ahead and roll a second. Wow, that one spun like a mad person. All right, 5 plus 3, so 8 per.
So everyone gets 8 health.
That comes down to 30. Dina, you're 31. So everyone's still a bit in red.
And then let me
I guess your HP.
see what else
Brutal.
I got.
You feel some healing take place, Dina, Valken, and Demalagus, as you're setting up for camp. You know, some of these aches and wounds just feel a little less painful than they did beforehand.
Yeah, Dina stripped off this outfit, which is completely ruined, covered in blood. She throws it in the fire, puts on some clean clothes.
Nice. There's a little stream that runs nearby, about 40, 50 feet off from where you are, in case anyone wants to, splash up a drink or anything like that. Well.
Oh yeah, as soon as she sees that, as soon as she finds that, she's definitely going to go take a bath. Cleaned up.
All right. You see a lot little clouds of dirt and blood and other stuff come off as you're not all yours either, as you clean up for bath time. Valken, what do you want to be doing for camp setup?
Well, seeing as I was really horrible at setting up my tent last time, I'll leave somebody else setting up tents. I'd probably just go over to Demalagus and kind of ask him if he has any ideas of what we should do next for looking for information about all this crazy stuff.
Okay. If you want, go ahead and, ask him. Hey, Demalagus.
Yeah. And I'm also going to take out my weasel and header.
Still wet
I've
from
chosen is Ash. So with an E at the end. So Demalagus, what do you think we should do next in terms of this kind of problem I have? We kind of lost our source of research for at least the time being.
Yes, that is going to be difficult to figure out at the moment. I'm going to miss the Vault of Knowledge, but I'm rather determined we get back there one day. I wonder if we can steal an entire building. Not important right now. But yes, we'll have to look into that further. At the moment, however, I'm going to be asking Thaxel to join me in interrogating whoever this is. Hello, thank you for the healing.
Hi. So wait, who else is really low right now, though?
I think those 3 are still pretty low.
Yeah, it's just a 3, and so I think it actually is 3d4. Depending on your level, that's how many d4s you get to roll, according to.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
What spell is it?
Mass Healing Word is 1d4 plus your spell casting ability modifier.
Yeah, and I think if you cast it at a 3rd level, then it's 3d4.
Yeah.
So do I roll one more time then? No.
No, Mass Healing Word is a level 3 spell.
Yeah.
So if you cast it at level 4, it would be more, but you don't have that yet. In fact, I think if you had an additional one that probably wouldn't have had normally.
My mistake. Healing Word does that, but I don't know about Mass Healing Word. Just kidding.
Okay.
Okay. So who's lower, Demalagus or Valken?
Valken's a little bit worse for wear, just slightly worse for wear than Demalagus.
Okay,
hold on. Do I see her trying to heal Valken?
I mean, probably. You've been keeping an eye on her. You've been talking about that, so yeah.
Okay, I kind of want to go up and just kind of push her to the side. And Valken, I am going to cast Healing Word on you.
Oh.
Only at the first level, because that's I'm going to save my slots.
And Dina's rolling hit dice while she's taking.
Okay.
And I apologize. It's only going to be 4 healing points.
Thaxel's like, kind of just nudges her way in, ZelKaari, and then, poof, does like a healing spell that you can think closes some wounds just a little tiny bit.
I'm gonna kind of tilt my head and look a little bit confused. I'm like,
You're welcome.
Thanks, Thaxel?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what I wanted to hear. You're welcome.
So ZelKaari seeing this, she's like, "Oh, okay, never mind it." And so she'll turn to Malagus and go, "All right, so I'll just heal you up a little bit since they're okay." And she'll
And I
cast
move her out of
Cure
the way.
Wounds.
Move her out of the way.
Do you
I'm gonna
have,
stop Thaxel
enough?
from
Do you
doing that.
have enough spell
You get into a
slots?
slap fight with her.
We've used like all of our spell slots.
I still have
You
first
used all
level.
your spell slots. I still have
Whoa.
plenty.
Well, I used all my level 3s in most of my.
Yeah, my higher levels are about shot almost.
Oh, see, I don't know what's with you guys.
But I compete. I'm going to compete with this
Uh-huh.
tiefling and cast Healing Word
Okay.
on to Malagus as well.
Is there anything you want to do, ZelKaari, in reaction, or are you just gonna let her? Or do you want to just let her do her?
She realizes that she's trying to make it into a pissing fight, and she's just gonna sit back and smile and let her do her little thing. She's gonna sit there smiling like, okay, that's fine. Not wanting to step on any toes, but also being amused that she seems so irritated that I'm around, because she finds that very funny.
Neat.
She
There's
just
6
kind of
points.
chuckles to the side.
6 points for Demalagus.
Ooh, all right. Oh, you're back in the green, Malagus. Ah. You do. You feel that healing nature, as if drawn from the very forest around you, fills your physical form and heals you up.
Dan, I already took care of mine.
Okay,
I'm
neat.
back in the green as well. So
Woo, nice. All right. That refreshing bath. There's nothing like cleaning up after a long fight, long battle.
yeah,
And,
she's cursing in a couple of different languages right now.
you, every so often you're Volklagen! Like, that's a really brutish like language. You're like, what? It's,
And she also knows Infernal, so you just hear.
dark growls.
Yes.
I just did
Yeah.
Infernal being
It's
ZelKaari definitely understands everything in Infernal and just like, okay.
ZelKaari probably learned a few words.
Nice.
Probably some she's never heard before.
Oh, guaranteed.
All right.
Wait, how does that translate?
Nice. You're doing what with a what?
So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
she kind of sits there like,
ask Demalagus, are you okay? Like, are you really okay? Because I saved your ass like 5 times. I want to make sure you're okay.
Yes, you did. Although you've never shown me concern before, so I'm a little bit worried.
I've shown
Thank
concern.
you. Of course, yes.
Yes,
sure
yes,
you
thank
have.
you. I needed to thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate it, truly. You did save my life several times where I was being torn apart by that huge asshole.
At least
So
4.
you were his slave then, is that right?
Me?
No.
I'm
This
talking to
new
you.
tiefling. I
me?
know, I'm
Yes?
ignoring
What? Me?
Thaxel.
Me?
Yes.
And she kind of perks up a little bit, finally getting acknowledged as she's just kind of sitting, twiddling her thumbs, listening to the cursing happening a little farther out. I can answer any questions you have.
I, at this point, would like to get closer to this tiefling and just like, I don't know. Like I'm trying to evaluate everything, so I'm like scanning up and down with my eyes. I'm sniffing because I lizard sniff now, and I'm trying to figure out if she's being like really, really legit. And I'm also kind of grinning.
Okay.
Well, if you smell her, she's definitely not going to smell good because she's been locked up as a slave. So she's gonna reek. That's for sure.
Oh, Randy, you're right.
Oh, I'm
I
sure
lick her.
Stick your tongue out in the air. Yeah. This lizard folk keeps coming up and like near your face. ZelKaari like sticks out her tongue a little bit. The fork.
Yeah.
God, you taste
Yeah,
terrible.
I wouldn't do that. I haven't been able to shower because a little buddy back there decided I was a good prize, and yeah, I haven't showered in a good decent time.
Okay, at this point, because I'm grossed out now, Demaligus, you can follow me. Can I? How tall are you?
Green has some reinforcements.
How tall am I?
No, sorry,
How tall,
sorry.
me?
Yes.
She is. Well, let me check.
Oh, 5'5".
She's 5'5".
Oh, perfect. Okay, I'm taller than you. I would like to try to just. I'm not gonna like pick her up. I could, not really, but I'm gonna kind of like just drag her towards the stream because I'm giving her a bath. Or
She
I'm just
grabs
gonna
you by
push
the
her.
arm. Do you want to be pulled along?
She'll gracefully get out of the grasp and willingly walk towards the stream because I mean she definitely wants to be cleaned. It's not that she doesn't. She'll love to take a shower and love to get cleaned off. It's not that she doesn't.
Thaxel, walks you over to the edge of this stream where Dina's, probably midway through a bath with some more of the cursing going on, and you two approach the river's edge.
She'll probably just like immediately just like start stripping down, no shame whatsoever, just like jumping in that water like woohoo and just getting ready to clean all off.
Nice. It's I think it's about late spring, so the water's moderately warm. It's far enough away from the mountain that it originates from to have some warm temperature to it. So it's more of a stream than a river, but it's nice. You get in, you're able to freshen up for the first time, and since you can remember, it feels good to rinse off and get cleaned up, forest level clean.
Yeah, Dina's made sure that you're staying downstream from her.
Okay. She knows like to give other people space, but she has no shame.
No, it's not about that. It's about Dina getting clean and it washing downriver towards you. She doesn't want your funk flowing past her.
Oh yeah, that doesn't even. She's just like
Yeah, so-
kind of like sitting around and be like, meh, whatever, just kind of wiping around. She doesn't bother.
Nice.
I turned around and I started heading back to Demaligus because I wasn't gonna wait.
All right. You reach Demaligus. Falcon's standing like quizzically with his head tipped, standing next to Demaligus as you return.
Okay, and then I just kind of
Both
walk
of us going.
up. So what are we gonna do about her? Y'all trust her?
Well,
No,
you.
no.
Okay, good. I want to make sure we're all on the same page. By the way, she reeked.
Well, that's what happens when you end up being locked in one place for a really long time. I mean, I had that same issue.
I'm glad I never licked you.
Neat. What do you all want to do for food this evening? I think you all have rations.
Yeah. While they're bathing, Dina's going to start up a conversation with ZelKaari in Infernal. And she starts out by just kind of singing a little song under her breath. And I'm casting Charm Person.
Okay.
So I need you to make a DC 15 Wisdom save, please.
Okay. That'll be in your main on your character sheet. Abby on the main tab. And what was it? A wisdom save, you said?
Wisdom.
Yes, it's a wisdom save.
So be on the right-hand side under saves.
Yep.
And wisdom, you'll just grab the little die next to, the wisdom block there, and then, drag and drop or roll it in the thing.
I don't know.
Okay.
I got 23.
Okay.
But she, knowing something was happening, she just kind of bobs along to the song, and she sings back because she knows the song well, and so she starts to just sing, not as loudly, but she's singing along and happily like cleaning herself while you're singing. So she kind of does like the lower.
Okay. Yeah, you know that she tried to charm you.
And she doesn't give anything away. She just kind of happily nods, and she honestly at this moment she's just happy to be out of where she was, to be cleaning off and not in immediate danger to what you all can tell. She's just happily like, oh, okay, da-da-da-da-da.
And Dina's like, I mean, Dina knows that the spell is failed. It didn't work. So she's kind of like, huh, okay, all right. And so she might ask you, she might she'll talk to you a bit in Infernal, kind of like, so were your parents? They look like you?
Oh, well, they have different skin tone, but they are also tieflings. My mom is about my height, but she has like really, really pretty pink skin.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Fine. What were you doing on that ship? I know you said you were a slave, but how did that happen?
So I was traveling, and I met him along the road, and he was really nice at first, and he's like, oh, I'm the town hero and everyone loves me, and I thought he was a nice person at first, and then he cast a few things on me, and next thing I knew I was in his ship, and it wasn't a good time, and he wasn't the worst, but it wasn't great, and I'm just glad I'm not there anymore because it really stinked, and he was really gross, and I just
yeah. Okay, I'm gonna insight check her.
Okay. I forgot to ask you, do you have dice at home? Do you have real dice, or do you need to use?
I did once upon a time, but I'm just using the computer because I ordered them, and then the ones I ordered back ordered. So I was like, well, there's no dice for me.
So to maintain, mystery, to neither confirm nor deny anything, go ahead and roll a d20 just off the bottom of the screen, off the bottom of Fantasy.
So don't roll it in the chat part, just roll it.
No, I'm sorry. You roll it in the chat part, just not out of your character sheet. Just grab the one on the bottom there, the D20 on the bottom.
Okay.
Okay. And what would your nothing? Okay. So if you feel that there's or go ahead, I'm sorry, Dina, and roll your insight.
I rolled an 11.
Okay.
So I believe her.
Okay.
Seems straightforward enough. And what I've seen of this guy confirms that he's that kind of a prick. So, or he was that kind of a prick.
was.
I'm like, oh, well, so where were you headed? Was there any particular reason why you were going?
No, after I left home from my parents, I decided to just travel and see the world and see what, different areas have to offer.
Where's home?
It's pretty far.
That's very nice. Where? What's the name of the city, dear?
Hold on. Did I write it down? I don't know if we got that far.
Okay.
Sorry. That's why I was like, oh, did I write that down?
You can just say it's so-and-so city, and we'll fill it in later.
Yeah. She just kind of gives you an off, like really, really far away town, like a place that most people wouldn't have heard of.
You can roll to see if you've heard of it, Dina, but it's so far it's a very high DC. But you're definitely a history check, I guess, to see if.
Yeah, I guess it would be a history.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, she hasn't done much to the very south where it got cold. Because screw the cold.
Yeah, for real.
That would be another natural 20. So nice. 22 total.
22. Do you think that you're fairly well traveled here on Vasarel, the continent. You've never heard of this town here on this continent. You maybe have heard it maybe once in passing. I mean, even with a 22, it's not a town you'd recognize, but maybe you've heard of. It has a name. You're not. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you're not like from around this whole place then?
Nope. Completely new to this area, which is why I assume I fell for that guy.
I have a feeling that you would have done that if it hadn't been that guy. But anyways, so
she doesn't disagree with you.
Yeah. Dina's getting a pretty good picture of who this person is. Incredibly naive, which hey, kind of works in her favor. So we're I mean, if you want to go with us, we're heading. We're just kind of heading out to go visit some friends. You're welcome to travel with us, I guess, for a little while. Something tells me you probably wouldn't survive out here long on your own. We'll see what happens.
I'm surprised. You'd be surprised. I lasted a bit. I was working on those shackles, and I've gotten into a few rough spots, and she kind of like buffs up her chest a little bit, and she's like, I'm a little hardy, but she doesn't. But she also kind of realizes that this isn't the best moment to try and like seem tough, and she's like, but
Dita's already been out of the bank. Dita's already been out of the river, and as she's been talking to you, she's surreptitiously gone through your clothes looking for any money that you have or any valuables.
Do we roll?
Under the guise of taking your clothes and folding them up and shaking out the dirt and cleaning them off for you.
Can I roll an insight check on that?
Yeah, Dina rolls sleight of hand, and ZelKaari, you can roll a perception check, which will be in your skills tab, ZelKaari. And you'll grab the same thing that little die off to the right.
Oh, that sucked. That was a 4.
Oh.
I hate balanced dice.
Okay, so ZelKaari, you got a 6. So both close. We
both sucked.
ZelKaari, you see, you're having this conversation with her. So you're watching, and she goes around and kind of pats out your clothes and starts to fold them. But you see, her hand starts slipping into one of the pockets to sort of assess what you've got on you.
So that's what she's like. I don't have a lot. I have some money, but not a lot. And honestly, I don't mind sharing if it comes to like getting food and stuff like that. I'm not averse to that, but I don't have a lot of money, and I
was making sure that you haven't been magically tracked.
Well, I mean, he is dead. Would that matter? And she kind of like is thinking in her head like,
Yeah, it matters. I was looking to make sure that they hadn't put something on you to magically track you.
Oh, yeah, I guess. So I didn't know if he had anyone else working for him or anything like that. But yeah, I guess you got a point. Yeah, you got a point.
Oh, trust me, he had people working for him. I'll see you back at the campsite. Because
Okie dokie.
Dina's kind of guy. Oh my god.
Neat.
Oh my god.
ZelKaari happily finishes up the cleaning and packs up her clothes and goodies and puts them on and heads back to campsite where everyone's sort of sitting around, the bonfire, like, oh, here comes ZelKaari.
And so she like kind of not skips, but she's definitely like happily like bounding up, and she's just kind of smiling, and she actually is still humming that song that you started in the stream, and she's just kind of happily strolling up because she's just happy to be out of that area. She's just real happy.
I kind of whisper over to Demalagus, I've never seen someone so cheerful before. This is freaking me out. Are you hungry? I can go find
Have you
us
never
something.
seen a slave freed before?
No.
I've grown up around slaves.
Oh. This is awkward. I'm going to go find food.
Go ahead.
Excellent.
So, Dax was going to try to find, she has rations, but, she likes the forest. Maybe she knows where she's going.
You actually have a feature called Wanderer. And one of the
That's
things
right.
it does is it allows you to find food and fresh water for yourself and up to 5 other people each day, provided the land offers it, which it definitely does here.
But do I want to?
Just use the dang feature.
I do it.
Oh, how sweet. All right, you find some game. There's a big old turkey and a couple rabbits you find as far as the meat goes. Plenty of nuts and berries, in case you didn't get enough at the back of the dock. And you return. You have plenty of fresh water. There's almost like a natural filtration up the stream a little bit area, and you're able to get some fresh water out of there.
Okay.
Do you know help with the cooking?
Yeah, bring it back.
Nice. You set up a spit to get, just keep that turning. And I picture someone assigning that to Valken for some reason.
Dina is very efficiently skinning these animals
Oh,
for the
nice.
night. Yeah. It's,
Okay. You see her just cutting through and gutting them and cleaning and getting everything ready and up on the spit.
just with the skins from
Nice.
the, yeah.
Amazing.
ZelKaari is just sitting to the side like, whoa, I like this one. She kind of like points to Dina, looking at Valken. She's like, this one's cool. She's cool. And like, she's really impressed.
She's buddying up to Valken, nudging him on the side. Whoa.
Okay, yeah.
What saying?
How do
what,
you
that
try
I'm
them while
cool?
she's going to follow you
No,
around?
that Dina's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's like ripping apart the skins and like getting everything ready.
Okay, we're nicknaming you Tigger.
I like that.
I like
that.
this.
Nice. All right. So food is prepared. Smells really tasty. You guys are all fairly hungry at this point. Yeah, you sit down to eat, and tasty, delicious food starts filling your bellies up. Fresh water. Everyone's pretty parched. It's been a long day. You finally find some peace after dinner with full bellies. It's nice and dark and quiet. It's just the sounds of the forest that you pick up on without intently listening or anything. Crickets, little, sounds of creatures pitter-pattering through the foliage around nearby, likely more rabbits and such. And you ready for sleep if that's what you all want, unless you have anything you want to talk about over dinner. Okay, so you're all sitting down, finishing up your food and sitting back on like little logs you've set up, little stones and other things that are just sort of a natural sitting area around the bonfire.
You look like you have something on your mind, Demalagus.
I do, yes, indeed.
Would you like to share with the group? Don't make it awkward,
Yes. I'll do my best.
or I'm going to have to leave.
So I am Demalagus of Shadowgate, last surviving member of the Arcanine. which is a wizard association. You are some sort of healer, but I don't know anything about you but former slave. Tell me a bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, I grew up in, she says, the continent in the town and gives a small little descriptor. And, I traveled a lot with my family. I had an older sister, mom and dad were all tieflings. And after a while, my mom decided it would be good for me to go on my own and see the world. And so I picked up a few little things along the way, and I noticed that a lot of people don't take care of themselves. So, I decided to make sure, I can help people along the way, but I like playing pranks. I love playing pranks, and my sister taught me how to play pranks. And so, like, one time, this one guy, he didn't really appreciate it. But we decided to steal all of his pants and only left him. We left him underwear, and he had some skirts that my sister outgrew, and he wasn't really happy with that. And my dad wasn't too happy with us either. But it was funny, so I love playing pranks on people. But yeah, I'm ZelKaari, and I just like traveling and helping people when I can. And she is literally going on, and you can tell that she's nervous, first off, because she's surrounded by people she doesn't really know, and she's kind of like twiddling with her hands. You can tell like she's nervous, and she doesn't want to upset you guys, but you can also tell she's earnest, and she wants you guys to like her, but not in like an overbearing way. She doesn't want to step on anyone's toes, so you can kind of tell she's like curling up a little bit and kind of trying to like pull back, but then she can't stop the like word vomit.
Okay, relax. Thank you very much. I'm sure it was quite the predicament, and I could only imagine being captive by that creature.
Yeah, he wasn't nice, and at this you can tell she's finally like the day is just dawning on her, and she's just like and like leans down and kind of curls up a little bit more, and she's just like, yeah, it was rough, and like you can tell she's starting to get a little on the downer side. She's not as perky as she was. So.
Oh, thank God.
Is she saying this to the whole group?
No, you can just tell like from her physicality of her being so bouncy. Now she's suddenly like curling in on herself.
I meant like the story type of thing.
Oh yeah, she's openly like telling everybody, and kind of like looking at everyone and trying to make eye contact and trying to seem outwardly honest.
Yeah.
She's not really trying to hide anything.
Yeah. I'm gonna go over and try to give her a hug.
She actually openly like opens her arms, and she kind of leans her head on your shoulder and kind of pats your back, like honestly she's trying to comfort you than more of her accepting comfort.
He's super comfortable with all those. Yes.
Oh,
his pillow
and
balcony.
I'm super feathery.
He is super feathery.
yes, yeah.
He makes a really good pet too.
He makes
kind of like pets through the
He loves to be petted, but
and he makes a very good comforter. If you just kind of take that
does.
one, and
he does.
it's very warm.
And we're gonna get like a little harness made for him that's gonna have a name tag on it and a little small bell.
I just
Falcon
glare at Thaxel.
Nice. Oh, ZelKaari, one of the other things she notices Falcon comes in is that he doesn't have pupils in his eyes, but instead it almost looks like you can see the galaxy in him. I don't know if you still have that picture, Kev, but it just it looks it's of a real owl that has eyes like this, IRL, and it looks like the universe in his eyes. It's kind of wild.
She takes a moment to kind of look, and she's like, oh, but then as she turns away, kind of making mental note to kind of like not ask, but like, you know, kind of look again, and then she continues talking and telling her story as he's over next to her.
Nice.
Dina's quietly pulled out the coin pouches she pulled off of him and has been counting it out.
Ooh, okay. All right, let's see. That is... actually, I have to finish rolling for that. Apparently I didn't. So let's, it's just a few minutes early, but let's take our bio break here as the night is gearing down. And I will do those rolls. And when we come back, we'll find out how much he had on his person.
4 copper pieces.
Yeah, I know.
With Dina's luck, probably.
Excellent. All right, so for those who don't know, we take like an 8 to 10 minute bio break in the middle here. So we'll keep streaming. Some of us will still be here. And otherwise, we'll catch you back about 8 to 10 minutes. Catch you soon. Yay! Oh, thanks. All right, I'm going to make some coffee maybe. I don't know, let me do this first.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab something real quick too. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Need to get some water.
I need to grab some water in a second.
All right, let's see. Right, it would not be that. Be individual. All right. Jeez. I'm not doing anything else. Okay. Oops, that doesn't look right, does it? That doesn't look right at all. Interesting.
Someone stole my chair.
Oh no! Oh, hi dear puppy. So cute.
I still find it funny that one Discord server I'm on, for I think they put it up early November, possibly even October. They changed the name of the server to Merry Christmas. And then recently, whenever they got on, they changed it to 2018 Survivors, and then changed the photo to the surprise Pikachu meme.
Ah, nice. Excellent. Okay, I like that. All right, now for real, I'm gonna quickly get a fresh coffee.
Coffee.
Oh my gosh! Oh my word.
Bless you.
Bless you.
That's a pretty epic sneeze.
That was
That was a good
loud.
one.
At least it's not like my dad, who decides that whenever he sneezes, he has to exaggerate it. So he goes, "Achoo!" It's like, really? Really?
That scares me every time he sneezes. It's so loud. So I have a heart attack every time.
Oh no.
Where'd Clem go? I wanted to see if River would
No.
react. She hates cats.
She's wandering around somewhere.
Ah, that's okay. River probably wouldn't see it. But, like, she stares out the
Right when
window.
she comes.
Oh, maybe she'll see it. Oh, look at the kitty. Look at the kitty.
I can.
Look at the kitty. No, nothing.
Look how beautiful Clem is. Oh my, she's gorgeous.
Get her. Nope.
Aren't you pretty, Clem? You're famous on the interwebs.
What is Clem?
So cute.
Clem is a cat.
Well, I know that.
No shit.
Or do you like
Such a
not
joke.
know what kind of cat she is?
She is a Siamese cat. She is an applehead seal point, which is just describes how she looks, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
I
always play that.
She was my ex's cat for a couple of weeks until she met me, and then she's been my cat ever since. Because I'm her dad, and she loves me the best.
Does the applehead describe him as opposed to having that kind of smushed face that Siamese get?
Yeah, exactly. The apple head means they have like a rounder apple
They
shape.
have to check. Yeah.
And seal point means they're dark
The
and
brown
beige.
tips.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. And on their
Yeah,
ears.
it's-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other points like fire point where they have a little bit of
Mhm.
red. There's blue point and other ones too.
Right.
But I guess they look like a seal a little bit in a way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's what
with
they
the-
call
with
it,
the-
seal point.
Oh, and the seal brown.
Yep.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
much darker than what you usually expect for Siamese cats.
And
Or
Siamese
pink.
get darker as they get older, and Clem's about 11. Don't tell her. She's very young kitten.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
she's never
11's
had
still young.
any babies, except for 5 of them. But she's not a good mom. She had some kittens, but she would very often refuse to nurse them. In fact, she would run and hide from her babies because she's a poop.
Relatable.
Now, fortunately, we
Definitely.
have another nursing mother, so she happily nursed her kittens and Clem's kittens too. Although Clem did occasionally nurse them, and they kind of shared their kittens. There was a male who my ex decided didn't want to get fixed. Well, they're all fixed now.
I fixed that.
Yeah. And I actually have him as well. He's Baxter. You ever see a giant black cat around here looking angry and sort of like a bear? That's him.
Well, Nova
He's a
almost
bitey boy.
joined us today, but when she went to sleep.
Aw.
Okay.
Yeah, Charlie's downstairs sleeping with Matt right now.
Oh, good.
They're both passed out on the sofa.
Well, Nova's was sleeping the past like 2 days. I thought she was actually about to hibernate,
Oh.
and then I woke up this morning. She poked her head out of her cave and was like, "Hello."
I'm
So-
awake.
She's like, "I'm awake." Oh, and then now she's back on top of the cave and she's sleeping. So,
Nice.
whatever.
Let's see.
Does she have to hibernate, or can she go without hibernating?
It just depends on the dragon. Some hibernate for a couple months, others do for a week. She's done a week. That's long as she's been, but she's just been really tired the past couple weeks. So it was just that time
I
of
just
year.
didn't know if sometimes you had to turn your temperature down in the house to keep it low enough for her to actually hibernate.
It's been very cold here lately, but it's so hot in the room that we're in, so it's I don't have to have both of her heat lamps on, so she's fine. She does what she wants, and she ate today, so obviously she wasn't ready to hibernate.
Yep.
So.
Well, we are.
I never float to boat.
Yeah, I knew a friend who had a bearded dragon, and they told me that they had to, they would keep their house like at 65 for a couple of weeks just to get so the dragon would go into hibernate, and then they could turn the thermostat back on.
No, we keep ours low, anyways, because we're on a second, or we have a townhome that has 2 stories, so the heat rises up here, anyways.
Yep.
But it gets about 70 in her tank, which is where it's supposed to be at night. So
Yeah.
it's not bad.
What kind of pets do you have, Abby?
I have human children. I cannot have pets because basically I really wanted to have a cat when we moved into our apartment, and
Yeah.
instead I found out I was pregnant, so
Surprise!
we decided to have a baby because that's how that works.
Nice.
So I have 2 kids. So I have an almost 3-year-old and an almost 1-year-old.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy.
You're busy.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
busy. I am very busy. And then within the past, I think like 4 months, I started streaming as well. So I just don't like sleep, clearly.
I don't think any of us do.
Yeah. You know.
I have kids, they make noise sometimes. Deal with
Yeah,
it.
I have to keep a little notice on my stream because I'll occasionally get the dude bro like, I can hear your kid, it's really loud, and I'm like, yeah, they're called children and they happen. So
Nice. Oh,
I'm so glad mine are older.
nice, yeah. Freedom.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the two youngest are still living at home, but
Okay.
and Isaac might as well be 6. But
Right. Oh.
We're definitely out of that toddler stage, thank God.
Do we have any word from Victoria or Anna about
Oh, yeah.
when they joining?
I was going to ask.
I haven't checked back in. I thought I would probably do it this next week. They both mentioned around this time, so I figured I'll let New Year's pass and then check in. Hopefully, they'll get to return soon.
Yeah, it'll be crazy.
We'll find out that they have the lamest, most boring adventure ever.
They were in a waiting room, under the ocean.
Diplomatic envoys for Akari. You will be trained in etiquette and proper.
Oh no.
That's the salad fork, not the dinner fork.
Can you imagine
It's
Aaron
something which-
being a diplomat? No.
No.
That would fail horribly.
Yeah.
Unless they
Ari
on
and
purpose
Rhea-
wanted it to go bad.
Ari and Rhea already have that kind of, posh background, so yeah.
That's true.
You
Yeah.
sit them down in front of a table with, 6 forks, and they go, "Oh yes, of course I know how to use it." But they'd be like fingers.
Nice. Okay, money.
Money.
So the rolls actually went really well, I would say. Let me just remember that, and then go back up here. Actually, it's probably faster to just do this. Go back down to my chart. Okay, times 10, so 50 platinum pieces.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Not expecting you guys to take this guy down. 500 gold pieces.
Can I make a check to see that notice to see if I notice her actually divvying this or counting this?
She's not hiding it.
Okay.
She's not hiding it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And lastly, times 100 silver pieces. Yes, you see her, as dinner's winding down, Demalagus is, struck up this conversation with ZelKaari, and you hear clink, 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 as Dina's sort of counting out these, little platinum bars that she's just, stacking up in groups of 10, and then gold coins, gold pieces. Oops. As that conversation wraps up, it's about the time Dina's done counting.
Yep. She's like, so, dude, it's loaded. Falcon, you can die again. You've got enough to pay for it.
Are you splitting this up?
Yes, Dina's splitting it up.
So sweet. How much do I get?
10 platinum, 100 gold, and 20 silver. And that's what everybody gets. That's the share for everybody. Everybody gets 10 platinum.
Could
100
you
gold
send it in
and 20
a
silver.
chat?
Either that or it's because I'm.
Oh, yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, how much platinum did he have?
10. You've got 10 each now, and that goes for ZelKaari too. 2, 5, that'd be the 5th. Yep.
How do you add that?
Oh, so it'll be in
Just
your
type it in.
inventory. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I correctly added that in your inventory. So there's PP for platinum pieces. PP. GP for gold pieces. And then the silver SP, of course, for silver pieces. All right. So the money split. Now, Dina, of course, you have the gloves tucked in your belt as well.
Yep,
just
that's
so
what
you-
she's checking out next.
Oh, okay. Demalagus, you would anyone that's proficient in Arcana, rather, I should say, because I'm not sure who else may be.
Yeah, Dina.
I
Okay.
can detect magic.
I mean, if you wanted to cast that, you could. But just to,
I already know that they're magic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
can
gonna
feel
cast
them.
Detect Magic to noticing that she's looking at gloves, and Dino doesn't normally look at gloves.
You don't know that.
She doesn't wear. She's normally wearing dresses that don't really cover much.
Covering
Strips
yourself.
of cloth.
Detect magic.
And you've never seen Dina in a position where she's needed gloves before.
See?
Nice.
Anyway, I'm still casting.
Neat. Okay. Neat. So anyone that's proficient in Arcana can sense magic off of it. And Falcon, as you begin casting the spell, you also will detect magic emanating from these gloves. Moderate amount of magic.
Ooh.
I mean, you all have some items that are uncommon, and of course they'll have an aura of magic. I think maybe there's a rare item or two. Those cast about as much as these gloves seem to be emanating.
Ooh, everybody has shiny, glowy things.
The only shiny, glowy thing that Dina has is the potion of fire breathing now.
As you try the gloves on, they kind of shrink down to comfortably fit your size. Again, a fine, heavy leather that is stitched nicely at the ends and looks presentable, close to noble attire, like ritzy attire, not quite noble level. And they have the small metal diamonds along each knuckle, along the fingers too. If you want to take like a half a minute or so, half an hour of trying to figure out what they do, you may.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. She's definitely seizing them, feeling them, getting used to them. She'll go ahead and attune to them.
Okay. They do in fact require attunement by a spellcaster. Hooray! And this is these are gloves of paralysis. And I'll get a thing out for you. It's essentially the wand of paralysis, except the gloves. The gloves have 7 charges. While wearing them, you can use an action to expend one of its charges to cause, let's see, a thin blue ray to streak. Basically, though it's gloves, so it's with contact. These light blue rays dance across and through a creature. Let's see. That you have to make physical contact with. Boom.
Okay. So it's by touch.
Yes, but it's considered a melee spell attack, so you can use your spell casting modifier when you do it instead of punching. On a hit, the target is paralyzed for 1 minute. Now, at the end of each of its turns, it can repeat its saving throw, ending the effect on a success. It has a saving throw of, let's see, what is it? Make an attack on each creature, hit paralyzed. It can make a saving throw against your spell save DC at the end of each of its turns. The gloves regain 1d6 plus 1 expended charges daily at dawn, and of course, if you expend the last charge on the gloves, you have to roll a d20, not a
D20.
1. They crumble.
Yep.
But,
Yeah.
they kind of come in handy.
So what kind of save do they have to make?
It'll be your spell-casting save DC, so it'll change with...
But are they making a con save?
Gotcha.
Save?
Paralyzed, I think it's... I'll check. I think it's Constitution.
Okay.
But I will double-check that for you.
She essentially has taser gloves.
Pretty much.
Nice.
No, it's just paralyzation. It's not electricity.
Well,
that's what
same effect, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what was it grasping hand is for?
Right, yeah. Shocking
grasp.
Bzzz,
That's what shocking grasp is for. That's her taser.
Nice. All right.
I mean, shocking grasp was lethal. Like, it's not a taser. Sort of like a taser if they also killed you instantly.
Well, I mean, tasers can, so, you know.
Nice.
That's
All
an
right,
electric chair.
Yeah, that's a Constitution saving throw, and I will write that up
Con
properly
save.
for you. Yeah. All right. Yep. So you now have that particular set of gloves.
Nice.
Yeah, excellent. He did
Like
not have a
these.
chance to use them on anybody.
No, he did not.
Darn it. I think we're okay.
Oh, and I love they
Taking off
they just tend to match her outfits really well, so Dean is very happy.
Perfect.
Very stylish.
Wonderful. All right, the evening goes on. Of course, it's everyone feels the call of sleep as it gets really dark now. Stomachs are full. Conversation's been had. Money's been split up. So, would you all like to rest, or does anyone want to stay on watch or anything like that?
Well, I know at some point Daxel kind of wants to go and try to meditate,
Mm-hmm.
like away from, not like too far away, but away from the group at some point.
All right. Does anyone else have anything in particular before bedtime?
Dina will take. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Dina will go take first watch.
Okay. Neat.
Zell is going to make sure like her coin purses, everything is kind of stuffed really nice and like tight to her body, not like being like, oh, my money, but like just making sure it's all protected and good. And then she's going to pull out her little like cap that she has. And she starts to like place it over her head and kind of trying to pull it over her horns and get it all situated on her head. And she kind of starts to, curl up in her bedroll to take, a little nap. And she kind of looks a little weird with this big, like, almost like, it's not a shower cap, but that's kind of how it's looking at the moment with this like fabric cap. And she's trying to like comfortably get on her bedroll. She looks a little silly, but she's kind of smiling and she's getting ready for bed.
Nice. All right.
So I also want to, I guess before I head off, I want to go up to Dina and say, okay, I don't know what our next move is, but I know we need to get out of here. I say we need to head back to Ikram. I have someone waiting there for me. I don't know what your plans are.
Well, I mean, that happens to be where Thud was headed as well. And we know that we have friends there.
Yes. Oh, okay,
That's-
good.
I mean,
So-
definitely Ikram.
Okay, good. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she takes off.
All right. Daxel heads off to find a remote place to do her meditation. And I'm sorry, Dina. What was it that you were doing again before bed?
She's been admiring the gloves. She's attuned to them, and then she's going to go to then she's going to take first watch.
That's right. That's what it was. Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception check, Dina, if you would.
All right. Yeah, let's do her fire. Natural 20.
Nice. Okay. The woods seem rather peaceful here. You're close enough to the ocean still where you can hear the waves crashing. It's this beautiful white noise in the background. Little crickets chirping, soft breeze, almost a zephyr through the branches and leaves of the forest. First 4 hours go by without any issue. While during that 4 hours, Thaxel spends a little time meditating. Is there anything in particular that you want to do with that, Thaxel, or just what would you like?
I think she's wanting to try and see if she can get a reaction like she did a while back, concentrating on the elements of the storm and like not like going crazy, but wants to see if she can do something similar to that again. See if she can do it again.
Okay. Roll a wisdom check. You find a solid place to get yourself positioned, peaceful, quiet, surrounded by nature.
That's a 6.
But there's a funky smell nearby from some kind of forest accident. And you just can't focus. You're like, is something dead? Did something, die in a pile of crap? Like, what is this smell? And you can't focus. Incidentally, something did die in a pile of crap. So
I get super frustrated yet again, and I head off to bed.
Okay. Return to the fresh air of the campsite and get settled in for a long night's rest. Is anyone taking the second or third watch? As you return, Thaxel, you see Dina keeping an eye out over the camp.
I'll take second watch as I'm coming back.
Wait, what?
I'll do that.
Okay.
How many hours I forget. How many hours is it that you need to sleep to basically be good for third? So it's 8 hours. So how many watches would that be? 2?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So on the third,
it's
watch,
3 in total. Yeah.
Okay, so then if there's a third watch, I'd wake up and kind of watch, but I just want to make sure I can get a good night's sleep, so I have my 3rd level spells ready.
Okay. All right.
Same here.
Okay. So second shift, Thax will go ahead and roll perception if you would. Dirty 30.
These are not rolling in my favor. Is it perception?
Yes.
10.
Okay, everything seems fine. You're just really frustrated still. The thought of you trying to meditate and that other disgustingness, you're like, your mind just keeps going back to that.
Makes sense.
But nothing seems to come of it. No intruders or anything. And final watch?
I'll go.
And then I'll kind
You'll be
of sit next to him, but giving him space.
Okay. You can both roll a perception check then.
Oh my god, which one was it?
Be in the skills tab, this one.
I'll get this eventually.
No problem. I'm still getting fantasy grounds, so.
Ooh, 5.
Ooh.
That would be a 9. It's perception? Yeah. 9.
Okay.
Well, fortunately, there's 3 of us on the last watch. Let's see what happened. Hey, already. Okay.
Sounds better.
I got a bit better. Let's see. My perception is something. Yes. Okay, so that would be a 17.
Okay, good. ZelKaari and Valken are fairly easily distracted. They both have a bunch of small talk, sort of a bunch of random statements and questions and things like that.
It's a naive person thing.
Yeah, kind of back and forth. Ooh, what's that? Ooh, what's that? Demalagus sort of, every time you walk by, you just do a little bit of a face palm a little bit. But you don't see anything else out of the ordinary, thankfully. No one does. The rest of the night goes by smoothly, and let me just give everyone a long night's rest in Fantasy Grounds. Oops, not initiative, Dan. Rest.
Roll for initiative.
Yeah. Against sleep.
What are we attacking?
You're all
the
insomniacs.
darkness.
Ooh, right, and I've added a new thing to roll for weather on travel. Oh no, okay. So you wake up the next morning to birds chirping annoyingly. I mean, it's nice for a minute, and then it's like, wow, shut up, birds. There's so many, and they're so loud, and it's so early, like 6 o'clock in the morning. But it breaks.
I hear breakfast.
Nice.
Can I go up to the birds and or fly up to one of the bird's nests and then flash at it?
Flash at it?
Yeah.
Like with a trench coat?
Those innocent birds.
They're being annoying.
I thought you were just gonna go who at them.
Well, I get actually, I'll just go and try to scare the crap out of it.
So let me back up a little and set the scene here. So, morning comes. There's a little bit of blue sky you can see through the canopy of trees this morning. It's a very bright, sunny morning. And again, enough so you can actually see through some of the canopy, those little, those really dark, clear blue skies. There's a nice warmth, even though it's just early in the morning. It's one of those perfect temperature spring mornings. There's some dew on the foliage around the campsite, on the different ferns and greenery. There are some birds. There's, what do you call it? A couple woodpeckers on trees nearby. Grasshoppers jumping around you. There's a number of grasshoppers jumping through the campsite. Nothing alarming. So Falcon, as you wake up, you're surrounded by darkness. Something is like laying on you and covering you.
Oh, okay. So it's not like magical darkness.
Mm-mm.
It's something that's covered. Like, am I kind of like enclosed in something, or is it just kind of covering me?
You feel enclosed a bit.
I'm gonna like try to reach out and see if I touch anything or something.
Yeah, I mean, you reach out and there's something like laying all on you. However, you feel like your reach is nowhere near what it usually is.
I guess I'll reach for am I able to reach for a dagger?
Yeah, you do, but you don't have any fingers or opposable thumbs to grab a dagger. Make a dexterity check to try and finagle your way out of whatever you're covered in.
That's a 17 plus whatever.
Okay. So you hop and you're pushing and you're, and you find that you're not...
Yeah, it's over 20.
As you move forward, you instinctually do like more of a hopping thing than a walking. And so for... is anyone else an early bird?
I see what you did there.
No.
No? Okay.
Not particularly, but since we're out in the open, and there's no like shades or blinds that, she may be Daxel may be waking up a little bit earlier than normal because it's a natural sunlight thing.
Neat. Demalagus? Or ZelKaari?
Well, I mean, me and ZelKaari were on watch with him, so.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Well, he would have, yeah. I guess.
So I think we might have noticed.
Okay, so this would actually, now I've got to retcon back before I forgot that you guys are on the...
Wait, this is at,
Well, whatever. I'm just going to say that you snoozed a little extra after your final watch. And then you hop up. Of course, Demalagus and ZelKaari awake because you both slept beforehand. And Thaxel, so you see like something in Falcon's sleeping bag bopping around, and you're like, what the? And out hops a little owl.
Oh my god!
Did he turn? Did he? Is that?
That's
Does
my
he normally
pet!
do this? Does he?
No, that's my pet.
Does he?
That is my pet.
So I'm the snowy owl again?
You are once again in the snowy owl form.
If my pet came back to me. Okay, I'm gonna go over and gently, I'm very nice, gently pick him up and perch him on my shoulder.
And then
I put his little head.
Am I smart enough to kind of realize I got turned into an owl again?
Yes. Yep. You would have. Okay. You would be aware of that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna look a little bit grumpy.
Nice.
I know you just look so cute, being so grumpy. Oh my god.
So what does he look like? Is he just a snowy owl?
Snowy owl now.
Precious.
Yep.
I have the same eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like Hedwig, but with galaxy eyes.
With the galaxy eyes, got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. So he is eventually going to have a collar.
Nice.
We're going.
Falcon, make a wisdom check if you would. You're in this form. You've recognized it. You've safely escaped your sleeping bag, your bedroll, and you're now perched atop Thaxel's shoulder.
She's very excited right now because her pet came back to her.
So check is what side?
The left-hand side.
That'd be an 11.
Let me just check. We'll do. Okay. That's just enough to. If you have any desire to turn back into your normal form, you could attempt to do so.
I'm gonna try to do that.
Okay, you realize
while sitting on top of her shoulder.
Axel, suddenly the owl gets very heavy. And you look over as it's shifting in form, changing in size up to a full-size Falcon.
Damn it! And I'm just gonna shove him.
He's shifting back, and
I'm
you're
gonna like flail.
I shove him. Yeah, it's like mid, whatever. I'm gonna just shove him off, and I'm gonna walk towards his little campfire. That's not really a campfire anymore.
Fascinating. You are no end of wonder, Falcon.
I think that Bell from the Mage's Tower might not be as temporary as we thought.
Has this happened before? Have you? Do you turn into owls often? ZelKaari is very confused. She's just
I decided to be a little bit curious when we were investigating. Would she have known about the Mage's Tower or anything in the city, or was she in the boat the whole time?
I think she was probably in the boat.
I was in the boat, yeah.
Well, in the city we were, that you were docked at, there was a Mage's Tower, and I was a little bit curious and decided to push a button and turned into an owl for about an hour.
I've pressed buttons before. I haven't turned into an owl.
Of course you have, darling.
I've pressed buttons before. Usually
Of course you have.
Usually traps pop up and I gotta jump out of the way, but it's a lot of fun. So, but I've never seen a person turn into owl, and so she kind of like is looking really close at your face and just kind of like looking and like kind of seeing, if anything really changed besides when you turned back into your normal form, like, is this feather different? Or like, you know what I mean? Kind of trying to investigate a little bit.
You see he's got the darker brown feathers now, sort of a gradient from brown to gray to like a dusty white on his face and his wings, as opposed to the snowy form that he was in before, which was much more white with a little bit of gray and some spotting.
Awesome.
Does he look how he did when I first met them? Like exactly the way he looked before? Okay.
Well, if this happens every morning, I am so excited.
Falcon, go ahead and make another wisdom check if you would.
That's like in.
What'd you get? It was
8.
low. Oh, yeah. Okay, nope, that's the end. Okay. So, the morning's excitement over. It's a start to a brand new day. In case you guys
Dina's just still in her bedroll. She's just like, oh, God, could you please keep it down?
Not a morning person. ZelKaari just kind of smiles. Days.
Yep.
Next one's fire.
I think Baxel's going to use her ascending stone, since it's a new day, and reach out to Tassos.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm saying yet, but no, wrong button. Okay, so I can keep this under 50. She's going to go head to. Let me back up. She's going to head to the little lake thing, the river stream thing, and take out the stone. And she's going to just ponder for a second on what she's going to send to Tassos.
Okay, neat. Sounds good. You all see Thaxel step aside for, outside of the campsite over by the stream, assuming she's cleaning or whatever she's going to be doing over there. The rest of you preparing breakfast or rations, or what would you like to do for the day in the morning?
Dina will finally get up and start immediately looking for coffee.
Okay. We'll say you can have some grounds in your in your bag.
ZelKaari also has the Wanderer feature, so
okay.
Does that mean I can kind of like go out and find fresh food and water again?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's definitely what she's gonna start. She's gonna kind of wander out a little bit and try and find some food for us all.
Okay. This lavender-skinned tiefling comes back, leaves, and then comes back about half an hour later with like 3 turkeys, all their necks snapped in one hand. And kind of brings
She's
them
like
in,
really
puts them
proud of
in
herself. She's just like, yeah.
Awesome.
She kind of like hands them off to Dina and be like, I thought you were really good at skinning these. Do you mind?
It's too early in the morning for that.
And
She
she
just kind of. She's holding them like this. She's like, it's way too early in the morning for this. She hands them back to you.
And she kind of like turns around. She's like, anyone can do it. For.
Go pluck yourself.
Alright, then she'll just start like skinning them and like getting them ready to cook.
Okay. So breakfast is being prepared. Thaxel's still over by the stream. Valken back in your regular form, thankfully. As you gather around the campfire. Do you fire up a brand new one, Dina, or are you letting ZelKaari?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'll start up a new bonfire.
New bonfire, get the meal cooked. And during the meantime, you're all sort of buzzing around the campsite in case you want to make any plans or you want to sort out what to do next.
Well, Dina's, once Thaxel comes back, Dina's going to be like, so if we're going to go to Ikra, I'm guessing we can just follow the coastline. And then we should be able to, if not see it, come to something that will get us there. Do I know how close Ikram was to the ocean?
Let me share out the map. It's a little...
Yeah, I've got the...
Wait, are we on the east side of the map or the west?
You're in the northern part. You're in Zangard, essentially. So you are... on map. Oh, there it goes. Like it's not loading in me. All right, let me.
I can't. That's right. We can't ping on this.
So you're up in Zangard. So you could follow the coastline. You'd go right near where you were with the red dragonborn guy, near-ish.
Right.
You continue through the forest and end up in Ikram. Yep. To the west there, following the...
Yes.
Of course, you went to the east, but you're in the forest there. You could cut across and then follow the coastline.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking was, if we went that... So if we keep the water on our right and, stay on the edge, we should eventually get to Ikram, or at least real close to Ikram.
I now have my message.
Okay. Get that map in place. All right. So we'll sit back and do a quick retcon for Thaxel. Back at the stream side still. Sending a
I had
message.
to make sure it was enough. Like,
Neat.
all right, close your ears if it's gonna be too sappy and gross.
Are you done?
I'm listening to every
Tassos.
word.
Tassos, my dear. Last night turned into an almost deadly end, but we survived and picked up this strange bouncing tiefling. The plan will be to head to Ikram. Reginald's my next priority, as are you. See you soon, love.
Oh, that's sweet. The blurk. Yeah. Nice. That's awesome. I love it. Okay.
love it.
No immediate reply, but the message has gone through.
I even said love at the end. He doesn't give me
Nice.
a response.
Listen. That's awesome. All right. So then you head back, and Dina has that conversation with you. Nice.
If I was, if I were to fly above the forest tops, would I be able to see if like anybody would? Because I'm not sure how close we are to like the edge or whatever. Would be able to see if anybody decided to come from Zangard to go and like.
You can take a look. Yeah.
Okay.
It's about a pretty big forest, maybe like 60, 70 feet up to break through the canopy. But go ahead if you want. If you're flying up, go ahead and roll a perception check with advantage. You can look beyond the forest and see. Looking back down through the canopy, of course, would be near impossible.
That's a natural 20.
Nice. Okay, your galaxy eyes open out.
Tell me what you see with your special. That'd be 22.
Okay, nice.
Total.
And okay. You see probably. You can see really far from here. You see where the road enters the forest. You can see the forest edge from here, where it opens up to Zangard. It's probably like a half an hour's walk out. You see a campsite or two. There's enough people there that you can see it from this distance. Wasn't there when you traveled to Zangard. There must be at least a dozen people or so. If not, maybe 24. So you think it's odd. Stands out to you. But there's active smoke from the campfires that they have at their campsite.
Okay.
So they're there.
Yeah. I'll go down and help. I see some active campfires and a bunch of people. And those campsites weren't really there when we were going in.
How close?
I don't see how close it was.
Half an hour.
Yeah, like half an hour away.
Right. Okay. We've got to go. Yep. I put out the fire, pack up my bedroll stuff, and I call for Eva.
I call for Rohirrim.
I call for Slot.
I call for pizza.
Yeah. Nice. Zangard pizza here for. Did you order anchovies? Okay, so you all.
Nachos.
Awesome. The four of you summon your nightmare steeds. ZelKaari, they've all mounted, and you're sort of looking around at the four of them. Like,
I'll motion to her to.
Just hop on up, yeah. She'll be like really thankful. She'll be like, oh, thanks. And she kind of climbs.
You can
up.
mount Valcourt today.
What was that? Sorry.
You can mount Valken today.
Oh.
Nice.
she climbs on up and she's sitting there. She's like really excited. And like, ooh, where are we going?
Away from people who are hunting us.
Sounds like a plan. All right, let's go.
And so you do. You start traveling west. At some point, you have to cross the main road to get to the western side of the forest and start following the coast. which only takes about 45 minutes to approach as you all ride along. ZelKaari, of course, very comfortable to ride behind Falcon as it's all the feathers in your face. Aside from the bumping of the horse.
Just like, this is nice. I could take a nap.
As you approach the main traveling road here that cuts through the forest, you all slow down the horses to investigate. Is there anyone in particular that wants to go out and check and see if there's any business on the road?
Well, I have pretty good stealth, so
I'm proficient in perception, but I don't want to leave my horse.
Okay.
Also, Dina's gonna say, Thaxel, didn't you say something last night about path without a trace, about being able to make us a little harder to find, to follow? Can we do that?
I mean, I may have said that. Oh, do you want me to cast it?
Is that something that you can still do today? That might be helpful for us.
I guess I could. I'm feeling a little, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but yeah. Mm-hmm. I cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay.
Yes, I know the feeling.
Generous. I'm feeling generous. That's what I was looking for.
Nice. All of you and the steeds feel a sense of calm and quiet come over you. The movements you make rustle a little less. The sounds you make feel a little more muffled than usual. Falcon, you hop off your steed and approach the side of the road. If everyone would roll a stealth check, please. Yeah, right. Pass Without Trace is a +10, so we'll be adding that to whatever you get.
Ooh.
Let's see.
So that'll be a 21 total for Dina.
Wait, so it's a +10?
On top of whatever you get, it'll be +10.
31.
Okay, so that'd be a 30.
I got a 20.
Okay.
I'm not great at stealth. But I rolled a 16, so I got an 18.
Okay.
No, I didn't add 10.
Plus 10.
Plus 10?
Yeah, Pass Without a Trace, baby.
Nice.
Yep.
28 then.
Nice. All right.
We're stealthy as fuck.
Falcon, you very stealthily indeed approach the side of the road. And go ahead and make a perception check with advantage. You've got that vision, and you're very well placed in stealth.
Okay. Well, the second one was a 20.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Nice.
20 plus. 22. Very natural.
Unbelievable. Okay. Apparently, all 4 groups of people that are camping had setbacks, and you currently, as you approach, you look both directions on the road. Nothing. No traffic. No one nearby yet. Looks like a very safe time to cross the road.
I knew those posh guards didn't know anything about camping.
Okay, so we move forward. Yes. Can we move? Can we go?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Yes, let's go.
Let's go. Hiya.
Onward.
You know, cut across the nice. Where's my coconuts?
The coconuts.
You'll cut across some 50 feet between the patch of the grass on either side of this trampled down dirt road. You cross safely to the other side of the forest and continue your journey. Takes about maybe another 45-50 minutes to find the coast and keep where it's on your right. You're seeing the distance mountains that come up, and just there isn't too much tree growth on the mountains. They just jut out of the forest in the distance. The forest on this side seems to be a little more open than it was previously on the other side, back on the other side of the road. You finally come out near the coast. Riding, do you want to ride through the forest or out like on the beach?
I'm thinking if we stay in the forest, if they've sent ships, in case they've sent ships.
Okay.
We don't want to be out in the open. I mean, we should be able to stay in the forest close enough to keep the water that we know that we're close to the ocean. Yeah?
Yeah. I say stay in the forest as much as we can, but follow the coastline.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay, done.
A couple questions regarding the travel itself. First, at what speed would you like to travel? The normal pace, or a faster pace, which will tire you out a little sooner, and have a little bit less stealth to it, or like a really slow pace to be extra stealthy?
I
Normal pace.
suggest normal.
No.
Yeah.
If that's okay with everyone else.
All right, you just discuss it amongst yourselves that you're sort of, riding through the forest, cutting amongst the trees. Thankfully, the flames on the nightmare steeds don't ignite the forest. They seem to, especially you, ZelKaari, who hasn't experienced this yet. At one point, the horse's mane kind of whips up, as Valken's mostly sitting on it, but there's some that reaches out behind you, and some wind takes the fire mane and brushes across your face, but it doesn't hurt at all. It just sort of dances across your skin.
So it's just kind of like heat, like a dry heat almost, or not even.
Just it's warm.
Okay.
Like a nice warm bath drawn. It's.
It's nice and soothing almost.
You continue through for a good 8 hours as you cut and bob and weave through the forest. About 6 hours through that, actually, you found a path. Partway through, you found a bit of a path. There are a couple of trails that are not like the huge one that you crossed earlier, but clearly people do take this coastal path sometimes, but not many. And as the forest, once again, as you're approaching the mountain range here, the forest grows a little bit denser once again. Denser still than the initial forest. There's maybe 10 feet between trees now. And thankfully you found one of these paths. It'd be very difficult to ride through the actual forest at this point, so you're sticking to the path, the narrow path, which splits. There's a fork in the road. And it looks like a sign that signifies, what goes in each direction. In case anyone wants to stop, or if you're all following someone and just want to follow their lead, it's up to you.
I want to make sure we're on the right path to Ikram. Can I see what the sign says?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you can read Elven.
Nice.
I don't know what it is.
I'm kidding.
You pull back on the mane of your steed. It bucks a little bit as you bring it to a stop, and you walk it over gently and look down at the sign. This is a really rickety old wooden sign. It's got a big bolt through the center, and it says there is it points to the right and says Grekel. Actually, you would probably be aware of this, Thaxel, being sort of, you're just north of Crestwood, essentially, almost.
Then, yeah.
North. So Grekel's little fishing island on the fishing village, rather, along the coast. You've never visited it per se, but you know it's up here. And it says Cormander, Mount Cormander, on the other direction, where the path splits to the left.
Would I know if I follow the path to the right, it would lead us more towards Ikram?
You know that Cormander, of course, Dina, you would recognize Cormander too, having visited there.
Yeah.
It would take you through the mountains. Whereas, you know that other place is a fishing village, so probably coastal.
Yeah.
We're better off staying out of the mountains. It'll be easier to travel on the coast.
Okay. So let's then I tell everyone just to stay to the right.
Okay. Nice. Sorry. It's reading chat too. So you commence once again. Thaxel looks back this way, and off you all go. down the narrow path towards to stay along the coast. Let's see. You get to about what would that put? About 6.5 hours. You're nearing the end of the day's journey, as this would typically be an 8-hour a day journey. Do you want? Second question is, as you're nearing that time, would you like to ride for longer than 8 hours, which might put you into some exhaustion, but get you there sooner, or would you like to stick with the safe 8 hours of travel a day?
I think the safe 8 hours is good.
Agreed.
I agree with that.
Sure.
We probably have a pretty good. I mean, at this point, Dina, knowing that Mount Corander is just off that way a bit, she's got a pretty good idea of how far she is from Ikram. So yeah.
Okay. So you ride on. Let's see, that was 6 hours. You ride on for another, again, hour and a half. You're about a half an hour from being done for the day, and you once again approach a fork in the road. The trail diminishes in both directions here. There's still a trail that you can navigate through the trees, but the woods have once again become more dense, and the paths here are much less worn than previously. You imagine you're somewhere directly north of the mountains, probably an area where, again, not too many people clearly pass through. There's once again, it looks like a sign as you're approaching. It looks like a sign in the center of the fork.
I'll go up and read it.
Okay. Dina, you again bring your nightmare mount around. This sign is kind of worn. I would say it looks like it's got some muck, not muck on it, but like that clumpy dust kind of stuff that builds up over time and some mildew. So you might have to get down and try and like clean it off a bit. You see maybe some like a couple white marks and parts of a word, before wiping it off. I mean, from your steed, that's what you see.
Yeah, so she'll kind of, lean over from kind of clean off the...
All right. You kind of lean down and just give it a good wipe down with whatever's available. And it looks like it says, you can see most of the letters now, what hasn't been eaten away by time, danger. And it's got the little skull and crossbones. Unfortunately, the sign is pointing straight down. Whatever direction it was spun up into, it's since lost that pinch, and it's just pointing straight down.
All right. I go back to the group and I go, well, sign says danger, but the sign has fallen, so whichever way the arrow was initially pointing is now useless to us. So it's a 50-50 shot.
Would my feature of Wanderer come in handy at this point at all, for survival or something like that?
Well, they're, let's see. I have excellent memory for maps and geography. Generally, train settlements. Around you. Oh, it's tough.
Not really? Okay. Well, I can turn to Valken and say, hey, you can fly ahead, right?
Sure. Wait, is also the forest still pretty thick in where we're at?
Oh, yeah.
Because I was gonna ask. I was asking that to, because I don't know if flying up would give any.
No, but you can still be off the ground and fly underneath.
Yeah. I guess I'll go scout ahead a little bit.
Just be sneaky.
I guess like a few minutes. Scout ahead. Which direction should I go first, guys?
The forest, maybe?
Wait, which directions or what are the two paths look like?
They look fairly similar from here. Again, the path gets less trodden in both directions. Wood's a little more dense as you're approaching the base of the mountains, it seems. But it's a left and right path. You would probably imagine left is maybe closer to mountains, right's maybe closer to the coast, if it's anything like the last one.
try the right if we want to stay by the coast instead of the mountains.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah. I'll go scout ahead a few minutes, I guess.
Okay. You fly ahead, ride ahead, and it appears to be, continue in the same vein that it has so far. Again, it gets a little more dense. It's nearing the end of. It's not twilight yet, but it's 5-6 o'clock in the afternoon. So you're or 5 in the afternoon, so you're getting hungry. You don't really spot anything. There wouldn't really be anything out of the ordinary here. No.
Okay. I'll go back and say there wasn't really anything there or in that direction that seemed kind of dangerous. But we still should be safe and possible and check the other path.
Yes. Well, I mean, based on what would the Crestwood Mountains were where we ran into that young red dragon, correct?
Crestwood, yeah, you ran into that dragon. Now that was a fair bit more south. It was like the middle of the left-hand side of that lake is where you encountered the dragon.
Where was the
the half dragon, Jaral. He was in that same. If you were to follow the left-hand side of the mountains up past the lake, near the tip, not those tiny 3 mountains, but just below that.
Right. Dina's just thinking. She knows that at one point these mountains were inhabited by a much older dragon. She's thinking it would make sense for mountains to be more dangerous, more perilous to travelers. At one point, a dragon hunted and lived in those mountains. So that if we had to guess, I would say we could move more towards the coast.
Okay.
That would be what she would offer.
Should we be making... Go ahead.
Where were the cloakers at? Like, were they more north, or...?
No, they were just to the west of the lake as well, roughly. Just a little bit north of where you met the dragon.
Should we be making camp? So basically, ZelKaari would be like, all right, we've been traveling all day. Should we say, choose the right side away from the mountains, if we think that's away from the mountains, and try and find a little area that we can camp for the night? Or do we still want to travel on? Basically how she would kind of be like,
Got distracted.
Thaxel's stomach growls.
Yeah.
Well, either way, we need to find somewhere to probably chill for the night.
Well, Falcon's already written down the coastal path to a certain point. Why not proceed down that way? Camp there for the night.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan, though. Let's just do that.
All right. And I'll turn Eva and head down towards that path.
Okay.
Let's be cautious.
Mm-hmm.
Just watch out for what I know about quicksand.
Nope. I imagine there probably wouldn't be any here. And
no, I meant would Falcon know about quicksand?
I don't know. You probably heard stories. I mean, quicksand isn't necessarily something that, does
watch
what
out for
movies make
quicksand,
it look like it does.
or I don't know.
ROUSs?
It falls.
I don't think they exist.
All right. Let's see. Nice. Thank
So,
you.
I'm figuring we'll just ride down about a half an hour and then make camp.
Okay. You all follow suit. Follow Dina down. So Falcon, you went down like, a few minutes and seemed okay. You ride a little bit past the point where you'd gone down, but everything, again, seems to be all right. You find, finally, around a half-hour mark, you find a spot off the side of this path far enough, about 100 feet down into the woods, where it sort of opens up. There's a little bit of a path where maybe someone's used it here once or twice, so that you don't have to chop a bunch of woods out of the way. Thank you, Stuart Thief and Randy.
I want to make a perception check, maybe, or investigation, just to kind of make sure that there's nothing here that's going to, or any sign of anything here that's going to come at us.
Okay.
Or maybe have that help Thaxel do it, thinking Thaxel probably is better at it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if Thaxel, you can either do like a perception to check around, or if you want to check for like tracks and other things of creatures, that people or whatever that maybe have been here, you can do a survival check if that's the way you want to approach it.
I can do a survival check.
Okay.
Can I assist to give her advantage?
Yes. Yep. You'll have advantage with Dina helping you out.
Okay. Well, that is a 17.
Nice. No, there's no tracks of anything having been here in any recent time. You would know, of course, being a druid, so familiar with nature, that, tracks only last maybe months, 2 months, or something like that, the most, depending on weather patterns and everything else. But there's nothing here to show anyone's been here for a while.
Okay.
So it looks clear.
We should be good. Just be alert.
All right, I'll get off and start clearing off an area for campfire and for bedrolls and things like that.
Okay.
And
Well.
I guess I'm gonna go try to find food.
Ooh, nice. Yep, you can, because it's a different day, you can go ahead and find, let's see, plenty of nuts and berries, fresh water, and you find this big honking boar that you're able to take down in like this hand-to-hand combat kind of way.
Yes.
You guys hear this thrashing and kicking, and Thaxel comes in with just a minor scrape or two, and this huge boar under her arm, like its neck, like.
Glad I created another bonfire.
Fighting
so proud of
fighting
myself.
level 1 boars in the forest.
Nice. All right. So you have food, and you all settle down as it's being cooked and prepared. Do you have anything you want to play out during dinner, or would you like to skip to resting and moving on?
I would like to meditate again at some point. Since it's a new day.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the rest of you kind of go about the evening. Thaxel steps away for a little while. Go ahead and make a wisdom check as you meditate, Thaxel.
Can I give her give her some inspiration?
Yeah.
Kind of seeing that because what I've seen like before, that she kind of came back and she's like, and have seen her kind of like trying to meditate before.
Probably wouldn't have seen her meditate, but whatever she did, maybe she's constipated, and you're like, she came back really frustrated.
Here's some inspiration for whatever you're doing.
Do I know this, or do I just feel like this?
What would you say, Valkyrie?
For an hour, you can use a additional. What is it at this level?
D8.
D8.
Yeah.
How do you want to psych her up?
I'll be your pet any day.
Having some trouble before.
Wink, wink.
Last time you went off on your own, so.
Oh boy! Thanks,
So,
Falcon. Thanks. It's not what it
have
looks like.
What? So
Nice.
Thank you. Okay. I walk off. Let's see.
so just do it.
Let's do it.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Oh, that's great, Kev.
Oh my God.
I can picture Falcon saying that too.
Do it.
Yes.
With the hand motions and everything.
Do it.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm glad you gave me that inspiration. 14.
Okay. It's a bit of a sunny day. Whenever you've meditated in the past, you found it easier to do when it's stormy, rainy, or especially a heavy thunderstorm or something like that. You know what? Make a perception check along with that, if you would, as you begin to meditate. You fall into a pretty solid trance. You're communing with nature.
That is an 18. No, yes, 18.
Okay. Something's bothering you though as you meditate. Something smells bad. Just kidding. What is it?
Not again.
You feel that something is off. Something's wrong as you're communing with nature, and you've always been sort of attuned to the weather. You've kind of had a rough idea of when a storm's coming, when it's going to be sunny, when it, and so on and so forth. And it feels too hot, too dry and too hot, unnaturally so for this time of year in this location. And you find yourself focusing on that while meditating. It brings about a little concern because it's outside of the natural order of things. However, you do feel this warmth settled around your hands as you have your hands sort of, on your legs or clasped or however you'd like them. And as you come out of your meditation, you see that your ring has a small like plasma energy racing around the transparent ring that goes around the finger, and within the gem dances a bright flame with a yellow to red gradient.
Well, this is new.
You still are left with a feeling of being bothered a bit by how unnatural the weather seems to be here and today.
Okay. I'm gonna just, I guess, look at my ring a little bit, kind of get up, and I just have like this puzzled look on my face as I head back to the group.
All right. On your way back, you receive a message from Tassos.
Goddamn tap.
My dearest Thaxel, apologies. I could not reply sooner. Your basilisk has caused some trouble around the compound.
Damn it, George.
I warned you.
Growing at an incredible rate. 23. My heart leapt at the news of your impending arrival. Oh gosh, what's his name here? Reginald has willingly disclosed some interesting details. Together, we can make him squeal and divulge the rest. Miss you dearly and long for your company. Oh crap, he's got 2 words left. Love you.
He dropped the L word.
Tassos.
Tassos. It's like one of those perfume commercials. Tassos.
That's amazing. There's like a guy shirtless riding a basilisk on the beach.
He's basically Fabio.
Pretty much. And he sometimes wears a cowboy hat.
Yeah, he's Cowboy Fabio.
Cowboy
Yes,
hat.
he is. He is. Maybe yes. Hair pulled back. All right. All right. Well, I head back. I head back to the group. Is everyone still awake, or do we have some people sleeping?
Yeah, Dina would still be awake. She'd,
Okay.
but she's going to take. She'll take first watch again.
Okay.
She tends to be a bit of a night owl, and she'd rather sleep in the morning.
I'll probably naturally take the second watch, but before we get to that point, I'll tell Dina. So Tassos made contact with me again.
Oh.
We may have a problem with our pet, basilisk, over there. Seems like he's getting a little out of control.
I told you. I warned you guys about that.
I don't remember any of this. All I know is that he was adorable, and I think we named him George. I don't know.
And we could have made a lot of money off of him.
Well, maybe we still can. Can we? Can we not?
I suppose. Let's see if he's, when we get there.
Anyways, just a heads up. We may be expecting some rowdiness from our little pet we got back home, but we should head there, or if we can make it there by tomorrow, we should.
Yeah. All right. Do me a favor. Next time you speak to him, could you ask him about Thud? Because I believe Thud mentioned that he was going to be doing some business for his family.
Certainly. I can do that when I wake up in the morning. Just for
Thank you, darling. Oh, thank you,
Anytime.
sweetheart. He said the L word, didn't he? You're blushing.
Oh, I'm not. Go to bed.
Oh, yes, you are.
Awesome. All right. Sardina, go ahead and roll for perception for the first shift, if you would.
All right. Perception. That's a 10.
Okay. You hear a couple of rustling sounds. As the woods are much denser here, there's more plant life and there more animal life. However, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing dangerous approaches. Before you're able to go tag out with Thaxel for the night. As Dina goes to rest, Thaxel, go ahead and roll for second watch, if you would.
Reception, you said, right?
Please, I'm sorry.
18.
Okay. Same sort of events go by. You hear more rustling, more animal calls and such, but nothing dangerous. Before you're finally able to switch out with a third watch, which will be...
I'll take third.
Okay.
I'll go. Well.
Okay. Demalgus, you want to rest through?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know why it's
end up rolling horribly, and then the whole party's gonna get attacked.
You can roll too. I mean, it's up to you. I just wanted to check and see. You're certainly welcome to check.
Yeah, he wouldn't sleep longer than 8 hours.
Okay. If all three of you wouldn't mind rolling perception checks, please.
15.
I rolled a 6. Or I rolled a 3, and then with my bonus, I got a 6.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Rolling great.
Okay. Similar events once again. You hear, especially as it's transitioning into morning time, you hear a lot of the different animals that are waking up for the day make their sounds and such, but nothing that sounds large or predatory or dangerous or anything that is above you or lateral to you on the in the food chain. So Dina, while you're resting these second and third shifts, you're having this dream about Thud that's intense. Thinking, mentioning it just before you went to bed is fresh in your mind. and it's a wonderful dream. But it quickly shifts. At one point, speaking of mountains, your visual just changes, shifts into this beautiful mountain range, and you're by yourself. And as you're looking around, you're once again standing on top of a mountain, the same mountain that you had in your last vivid dream, surrounded by forest in the valleys around it. There's loud sounds. It's difficult to articulate exactly how they sound. Certainly nothing that you would have heard before. These are sounds of a large-scale battle in the distance, like massively large scale. You hear these booms and thuds just every so often that sound like a mountain has crashed into the ocean or something. Looking around to find a source of these sounds, you see far in the distance a massive wave from an ocean that's laid out beyond the forest crashes over against a mountainside some 30 miles away in the distance. Huge wave of ocean water, like a tidal wave, crashes into the side of this mountain. You hear that thunderous roar that it creates. A streaking comet hurtles downward from the sky. You hear this high-pitched whistle sound up in the air. And as you look up, you see the streaking comet hurtling down from the sky, crashing into the top edge of the mountain that you're on. It nears you, but past you. This mountaintop is probably a good half a mile in width. This comet, that as it approaches is more like a meteorite, has this red and blue tail behind it with little embers flying off the back as it crashes into the mountaintop and forces the mountaintop to give way. And this stable top of the mountain that you were standing on crumbles beneath you. You're not falling over the edge as you were last time. Now you're falling down into the mountain along with these large boulders and other debris from this disaster. As you're falling and looking past the stones and trees and woodland creatures that are birds trying to fly out to safety, you see down further below, magma stirs, and the mountain is apparently hollowed out beneath.
Survivable.
Let's see. You land. You fall down with the debris and land. Surprisingly, although this should have, had a deadly impact, you land on a ledge on the interior of the mountain. Fine. No pain, nothing broken.
Interesting.
Down even further below than that, you can, once again, you see this magma. Maybe 40, 50 feet down now. You feel the heat coming off of it. Yes, it's nice. Very nice for Dina.
It's so good.
There are waves and ripples, much like the ocean, to this. You're looking at probably 1.5 miles across of magma here. It's huge. You can. It's well lit because of the magma, of course. From the top of the surface of the lava breaks as a creature lifts its head first and then torso from the magma, covered now in this molten stone that's hardening piece by piece as it lifts out of the lava. This creature is like a quarter of the size of the mountain, and you can see its head down to its torso or so, its navel, seemingly somewhat humanoid. The creature's torso here stands some several hundred feet above the magma, just head down to that area. Let's see, and it fills a bunch of the cavity down here of the empty mountain, hollowed out mountain. As that happens, waves of magma splash up against the edges of the mountain and the ledge down below where you are, and obscure your view here and there for a moment as it splashes and drops back down into the pan of this hollowed out mountain.
She's backed up just a little bit from the edge, so
Okay.
don't want to get accidentally splashed.
Nice. The heat as it flies up into the air is almost overwhelming as you're that on the ledge and that close to the splashing magma. It settles back down though. The creature, however, somehow endures all of this, and it seems to be thrashing and fighting to try and free itself. But the molten stone that's encased the creature. Again, it looks like it's becoming stone. It has those veins of magma in between. As it begins to harden, the molten stone begins to cool, as does the volcano, and slowly the magma turns to rock hard, cools, and becomes stone, and the creature is slowly encased within, much to its torment, based on the face that you see it making as it's locked in place.
I wonder if I can help it.
As you think that very thought, you're drawn from your sleep and wake. It's morning. Birds are chirping annoyingly. Go ahead and roll an intelligence check with advantage if you would.
Okay. 15.
Okay.
Unless I get to add my proficiency bonus.
Yes, actually. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Then it'll be an 18.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that is exactly enough to recognize that you reflect a little bit on your first thought being, can I help this creature, and feeling some sort of connection to it. Same sort of connection you felt in regards to your lineage with the previous dreams and previous experience. As you wake up and you look up through a small little clearing, you can see the mountain range in the distance. That mountain that you were on was Cormander. And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Stop it.
Wait, so the mountain was her... Wow.
We're gonna have to be filled in a little bit here.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just like...
Dina has a very complicated lineage.
Dina is a draconic bloodline tiefling
Okay.
whose mother was a fire genasi. And according to her uncle, who is also a fire genasi who raised her, her father was an ancient red dragon. And she has red, she looks like a tiefling, but she's got red dragon scales that run along her hairline, down her spine, and down her tail. And her tail and her horns are much more reminiscent of dragon than tiefling. So Dina, yeah. So it's an interesting lineage.
Exciting. And Dina's been to Mount Cormander as well when she went to visit someone in an earlier session. So she recognized it's just now, that dream state, things don't quite click. But she rolled an 18, which is exactly what was needed to make that connection.
Yeah, she knew about the Ifrit in her family lineage. That's where the fire genasi came from. What she didn't know is, and nobody could tell her, was where the infernal blood came from that gave her the tiefling, because everybody was rather shocked when she was born as a tiefling. So that's what she's trying to find out.
Dun, dun, dun.
I wish I wasn't distracted just now because I wanted to rehear that part.
Nice.
Not that anybody knows that, but
Okay,
Yeah,
good. So
when
I'm
she
just going to
went-
still be surprised later.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
really
So
surprised.
nobody knows. None of them know what Dean is doing. Just took off for a while on her own while they were doing other things.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
So this is probably why it's a little toasty. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, but I didn't say anything. Maybe I should. We'll see.
Dina would, but Dina, you would probably catch Dina kind of staring at the mountain, kind of studying it. Like, I wonder if I want to go there or not.
Ikram.
Nice.
Yes, well, I mean, there's Thud, and then there's
There's Thud.
yeah.
There's
Nice to
Tassos.
see Thud. Oh, I'm not going to take you guys with.
Awesome.
Oh, heavens.
She'll go to Ikram, and then she'll come.
Okay, there we go. That's a plan.
Nice. How exciting! And that worked out with great timing that you were all right near the near there, so you could have a visual tie-in. That's cool.
Okay, so where exactly on the map are we at again?
Okay, so if you look at oh, sorry, I just closed it on that one, of course. Let me open up my other fantasy grounds here. So Crestwood, the pond, the lake rather, just above Crestwood, in between the mountains there. So along the right-hand side, as you're looking at the map, the right-hand side of the mountain range, if you were to go almost straight up towards the coastline, you're sort of in between those, where those tiny little mountains are. You've just kind of crossed into, you're at the base of the mountains there, just kind of crossing into that territory.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've got
So
probably, let's see, a few days to go. 1, 2, 3. It's about 4 days in total from where you are with the Nightmare Steeds. So you've covered a one full day. So you've probably got maybe 3 or so.
Okay. I was just curious. I didn't know how, like, south or...
Gotcha. Yep, way
Yeah.
up there near the coastline.
Cool.
Yeah, exciting. All sorts of exciting stuff for next week. All right.
Thanks for joining us, Abby.
Thank you
Yes.
for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome.
Happy to have you.
Yes.
I promise Thaxel will be kinder later.
I was just like,
She's not very trusting to outsiders just yet, so give her, like, surprise her with something and she'll be fine.
Yeah, we take a while to warm up to people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I came out of nowhere, basically be like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like, yeah,
I'm here.
It's like, yeah.
Like, no, you can't heal my friends. I heal my friends.
That was great.
yeah. I was just
That
like, okay.
A couple small gifts and you'll be great. They're very petty.
Here's some coin. Here's some.
Accept coin. I accept whatever. Surprise me.
Nice.
Or, you know what would really get you on her good side is if you have like a leather kit, like leathering skills or something. She's
Or
bound and
alcohol.
determined to make
Oh,
or alcohol. She
Right.
loves
Yes.
alcohol. So
no.
Thaxel, at some point, Dina's going to go to Thaxel and go, I wonder how she'd do at the Rose Menagerie.
we should take
I
her.
know, right? Yes.
Ooh,
Yes.
I would love
We'll
to
have
be a
to go.
fly
Oh
on the
God,
wall.
I
for
need to have
that.
a long chat with her.
When we get back, when
The
we make
birds
it back
and the
there.
bees and the turtles and the rabbits and the
Yes, when we
carrots.
make it back to Stonecrest, I'll have to take her to Rose Menagerie.
It'll be her initiation
Yes.
if she joins our group.
Yes.
Amazing.
You'll love it.
No, Randy, where'd you go?
Randy, come back.
Ready.
Ah, Randy.
So for viewers, we have a new player, new character. Player being Abby up in the top right here. Hooray! Welcome, Abby. And her character being ZelKaari, a tiefling cleric that follows.
Yeah, we have a healer.
Woohoo!
Thank God.
That's not me.
Nice.
We have our very own Tigger.
Yes. Big.
Yes.
I'm bouncy.
Awesome.
I cannot wait for Ari to meet her. That's
Oh my
going to. I'm making
gosh.
popcorn.
I hadn't even thought of that.
Dina's just going to be sitting back.
Oh yeah, because Ari doesn't like me, so
Yeah.
No, Ari loves you deep, 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 deep down. Very deep.
My hypothesis.
But once she sees how cute you are in your little pet form, she's going to fall even more deeply in love with you.
Oh, it's a scratchy Falcon.
It's
in the morning, am I going to end up turning into an owl again?
Guess we'll see. All the fun things for everybody. Oh, I can't wait. Yep, next week will be extra fun.
Yes.
Every week's fun. Thank you, players, so much. You definitely make this wonderful, and I just appreciate each of you and all that you bring here, and just your company in general all week. So, thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Yes.
You're awesome, buddy.
Oh,
Well, we
it's
wouldn't be
just-
doing this without you, so.
Oh,
That's right.
shucks.
Ow.
Neat. And players, chat, thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us. And thank you, to everyone that was modding tonight and staying on top of all the trolls action we had. I really appreciate that. And Sword Thief for jumping in and helping clear the chat out with Randy. Much appreciated. So we stream every Tuesday night here. This is our All Evil campaign. Which runs again every Tuesday night from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern. And then we have Stormfall on Fridays that runs every 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern. So, oh, thanks, Frank. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I can't wait to catch you again soon.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year's.
Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful night.
Bye.
Bye.